Hey, what's up everybody? Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline. Today, I want to actually share with all of you a story, an experience of something that happened just last night to me, working with one of my coaching clients, actually one of our students in my leadership development program. It was a really kind of touching and inspiring moment that we shared together as I was coaching her through some of her struggles. But what I'm going to really be talking about and what I want to be sharing with you is if any of you ever struggle with truly believing that you have what it takes to be successful in your business, right? One of our students was sharing with me how she was really struggling going through a goal setting process, right? We're teaching people kind of how to think big and create from possibilities. She was really struggling with it. And when we dug down deep, what we found, it was because deep down inside, she really didn't see herself being able to be successful. But there was something else at play when we dug a little bit deeper, and here's what it was. Is that she had an identity of who she thought she was supposed to be in order to become successful in her business that was not in alignment with what was really important to her in her life. So in other words, she actually thought that in order for her to become successful and to maintain success in her network marketing business, that was going to make her have to compromise who she really was and what was important to her. And I think I want to talk about this, and I want to go through some of the details of what happened, because I think this is such an important thing for a lot of you. Many of you that are feeling stuck and struggling in your business right now, I promise you that what we're going to talk about today, there's going to be something here that's going to be incredibly transformative for you. So let me give you kind of the backstory on what we're doing. So as many of you know, I have a leadership development program, and what we're doing is all of our new members that joined, we're taking them through this kind of 30-day process of almost, I view it like kind of breaking them down so we can build them back up. And the first thing that we're doing is we're having them really dig into this idea of identity. And this is something that's hard for people, because here's what I notice a lot of people try to do. Is in our lives, we always want, we're running 100 miles per hour all the time. It's like, we live in this microwave society where we always want the quick fix. We're buying a course or getting on a video or listening to a podcast because we just want that one thing. That if we just make that one tweak, everything's going to change. And we're always just we want it now. I want the results faster. And here's the problem with this. We never slow down enough to really introspectively look at the way that we are showing up in our business. And you've heard me talk a lot about this lately, and here's what I want you to understand. You must realize that success is never a matter of doing, it is a matter of being. It is a matter of character. And when we talk about character and who you are being, here's what you'll find if you slow down and really take a look at this part. Every single one of you has this identity of who you are in your business. And your identity is made up of a number of things. It's made up of your thoughts about yourself, and also thoughts about what you think success is going to require of you. See, because some of you have a definition of success where you are thinking that in order for you to become successful, you're going to have to make trade-offs, and you're going to have to give up some of the most important values and principles that make you who you are. So you've created this definition and this idea of success that's not congruent or in alignment with who you are as a person. And a lot of times we do this without realizing it, and it creates this internal resistance where we constantly feel like we're running, but we're never getting anywhere, because whether it's we self-sabotage or we never put our full selves in because we're out of alignment. And so, but you have this identity, and it's made up of your thoughts, it's made up of your beliefs, it's made up of the stories, because we're masters at making up stories. You know, if I were to ask you, any of you right now, if I were to say, hey, why are you not where you want to be in your business, right? Why are you not as successful as you want? The answer to that question is a story that you've created. Now, some of it might be factual. You know, I've got a full-time job. I don't have a lot of time. I've got children. There are elements that are fact, but it's our interpretation of those things that becomes our story. You know, you may tell me you're not successful because you have 5 kids. Well, what happens when I introduce you to the person that also has 5 kids, that has the same situation as you, but they are successful? They've learned how to create a different story. They've learned how to manage their circumstances differently. But every one of you has this identity, okay? So what we're doing is we're helping people, number one, become aware of the fact that this is what's been at play for them in their business. This has been the thing that's been holding them back, and get them to realize that you're the one that made this identity up, right? You created it. And once you become aware of the stories and the thoughts and the beliefs that you have that are holding you back, and you realize that you've created it, you now have the awareness to start to consciously start to create a new identity, to think new thoughts, to tell yourself different stories that will empower you. So, but it is a really hard thing to do. And so, you know, this is what we're taking all of our students through. So we did a training on this. And last night we did, and we call it an accountability check-in, where basically what we do is we have, I bring a couple of people on with me, and we broadcast this in the group. And I specifically chose people that were stuck, that were struggling, right? We asked them all these questions, and they were stuck. But I wanted to coach them through it live. And I had no idea how it was going to go, what they were going to say. I just knew that if I showed up there from a loving place of compassion, and I listened to them and I understood them, I could serve them, that we could hopefully get something. And I couldn't have, it couldn't possibly have planned any better. One of our students, and I'm not going to share her name or anything, but here was her issue. So her issue was that in, her personal life, she actually was a therapist. Right? So she's a licensed therapist, and she did that for over 10 years. She loved it. I asked her, why did you do that? She said, I just love serving people. I loved helping them transform. That's what she did in her personal life. But then she had her network marketing business, and she was struggling. She hadn't had a lot of success. And when I was walking her through this process and I was asking her, she's like, you're asking me to set these big goals. And every time I try to do that, I can't bring myself to do it, because I feel like I'm setting goals for things that I really don't want. And that was my first thing. I was like, I'm like, okay, well, what is your definition of success? Because anytime I hear somebody say, I'm setting goals for, I don't want success. I think what she said was that I don't want to have to maintain success. So I said, well, what's your definition of success? What do you view success to be? And after we did a little bit of digging, what we found was that she basically felt like she was going to have to become someone that she wasn't in order to achieve success. So she had this identity that was holding her back, but then she also had this definition of success where she thought she had to be something she wasn't. But here's where else she was struggling. What we eventually came to find out is that her true motivations do not lie in just the financial rewards of the business. And because what she's always been taught, and by the way, this is what I think, I think that one of the biggest problems with our profession is we teach our people only to focus on the financial rewards. It's all about just setting goals for ranks and getting big checks. And what happens is people wind up either focusing on the wrong things and they get pulled into this trap of just themselves and making money, and they wind up doing things that are not really authentic or congruent. You see this on social media all the time, people desperately spamming and just doing whatever they can to sign people up. You know, they're taught to focus just on the financial rewards. It's all about profit. When a lot of times what really is most important, the thing that motivates people even more than profit, is purpose. What's the reason why you do what you do? And here's what happened. What I actually, when we started talking a lot, she started telling me how she was struggling setting goals, and we couldn't get through it. What I asked her a simple question. I said, all right, let's forget about all this business and goal stuff, and let me ask you a simple question. What made you successful as a therapist? And I started asking her questions about her as a therapist, and what was really crazy is I literally saw in the matter of 2 or 3 words, when she got out of her story and her identity in her business and she stepped into her identity as a therapist, her entire body language shifted. Her energy shifted. She was like, she went from like kind of tense and clenched up. She got relaxed and a smile came and she lit up, and you could just tell like she literally was loving it. And I pointed out to her, I said, did you get that? Did you see how your energy like immediately shifted? Because she stepped into this other identity that was more congruent with who she was as a person, what was meaningful to her, what was purposeful. And what I pointed out to her was this. I said, listen, your problem is you're not in alignment. You think that you need to be someone different than from who you really are in order to be successful. And here's what I want you to understand. The same exact things that made you successful and fulfilled as a therapist will make you successful in your business. You do not have to be someone that you are not. You can do this in your own unique way that is authentic to you. And when she kind of put these two pieces together and realized that she needs congruence, it created a huge breakthrough for her. She started to realize, I don't have to be someone that I'm not. I can be, true to who I am and just do that in my unique way, right? So that was a huge thing for her. But then we took it even one step further. So we came back to this idea of goal setting. And I started asking her, do you have a big rank goal? And I could just tell she wasn't really excited. She was like, yeah, but I just don't see it. And what I realized was this is someone that's not motivated by profit. She's not motivated and lit up by just what she can get. What she's motivated by is what she can give. She's motivated by service. She's motivated by impact. So here's the question that I asked her towards the end of the conversation that I think literally made the entire experience what it was. I said, you know what? Forget about all this goal setting stuff. Let me ask you this question. And this would be a question that I think every single one of you should ask yourself. Here's what I asked her. I said, how do you want to be remembered as a person? When you're gone, when you pass on, what do you want people to say about you? How do you want to be remembered as a person? And what was really powerful is she literally, you could just see she was completely overcome with emotions. Her eyes started tearing up. It struck such an emotional chord with her. I mean, it moved her in her soul. And what I pointed out to her is I said, that emotion that you're feeling right now? There's a reason why. Because what you just tapped into for the first time is the real stuff. This profession, why I love network marketing so much, is because what it is more than anything, and I'm on a mission to reframe the way people look at this type of a business, what it really is, first and foremost, it is a vehicle to allow you to live out the purpose for your life. See, if you can put purpose before profit, if you can put other people before yourself, If you can focus before what you can get, what you can give. I said, if you use your business as a way for you to serve people at a bigger level, I said, you were fulfilled as a therapist because you're moved by service. I said, here's the problem. You're limited to only the person that's sitting across the table from you. What if you could use this business model as a vehicle for you to serve people at a level, at scale? What if you could serve and impact people, thousands of people all over the world, through this thing that we call network marketing? And it shifted something in her in a major, major way. And what it made me remember is how so many people stay stuck in their business for this same reason. They only focus on profit. They only focus on what they can get. And when that's not really the thing that drives people, right? That's why they struggle with goal setting. That's why they stay stuck. See, when you can start from a place of purpose, when you can be purpose driven, when you can ask yourself, who do I want to be? Because here's the secret. If you show up every day and you act as the person that you want to be remembered, if you start living your legacy, look, your legacy is how do you want to be remembered? When somebody stands at the front of side of your casket and gives your eulogy, what do they want to say about you? How do you want to be remembered? Get clear on what those words are. They were a loving person. They were compassionate. They were committed, right? How do you want to be remembered? Get clear on that and start living that today, every single day. Because here's the secret of success. You start being and showing up the way that you want to be remembered. I promise you, you will be successful. Because success is not a matter of doing, it is a matter of being. And here's the thing, is I sent her an email, sent her a message this morning, and I basically just wanted to acknowledge her for being so vulnerable and courageous. I mean, she told me, she's like, I'm scared to death. And you could tell she was so afraid to even be on there. But I watched this literal transformation once she tapped into this. So I sent her a message, and I just want to read some of the things that she messaged back to me because I think it was so powerful. You know, she talks about, she said to me in the message, she said that the big shift for me was when I began to talk about being a therapist and I watched myself show up different. I literally watched my energy shift. And she said, I always tell my clients that once we become aware, we become accountable, which I thought was really good. And she said the thing that really brought it together was when at the end of the call, you reframed the motivation behind my business basically from profit to purpose. And she even said, you know, money is important, but it doesn't drive me, right? Otherwise, I would have never have become a therapist. And she said, but here's what does drive me. Leaving things better than I found them. And she said, that's the thing that drives me. And that was the big breakthrough. And then in her next message, she said, here's what I'm excited about, because I realized that I've had this unserving identity in my business of who I thought I needed to be that was out of alignment with who I was. And she said, here's why I'm hopeful and excited, because now I realize that who I am at my core and who I am in my network marketing business should be one and the same. And she said that this is just her word. She said, the fact that God designed me to serve, to bring people into His presence and His mercy, that's who I am, and that's who I am in my business starting today. And capitals, I am so excited. Here's the thing. She now sees, and this is what I'm talking about. She's not, see, the problem is, guys, you're looking at your business and your products as part of your identity. I'm a skincare salesperson. I sell makeup. Look, this is not the thing. Your business is a vehicle to help you live out the purpose for your life. The way that you transform people's lives is through makeup, is through skincare. But there is a much bigger reason why you said yes to this profession. And why I want to share this with you today. And look, regardless of what your beliefs are, we're welcoming of all different beliefs here in this community. What I want you to understand, though, is there is a higher power at play right now in your business. And your business is an assignment. It is a calling for you to wake up and grow and evolve as a person, to do more, to contribute, to get past your fears. And to the degree that you wake up to this and you are willing to do this, it will completely change your life. So, I just had to share that story with you because I think it's such a great example of when we begin to shift the focus of what our business means in our lives. And getting back to it, what I really want all of you to do is I want you to look at your identity. I want you to look at and ask yourself, who do I feel? Here's a good question. I want you to ask yourself, who do I think I need to be in order to be successful in my business? And I want you to notice what your definition of success is. And I want you to pay close attention because I promise you, some of you are out of alignment. Some of you think that you need to be someone that you're not in order to be successful. And I'm just telling you, you can't have two different identities. There is one identity. The things that make you who you are in your personal life, you can build a business based off of values and principles. You can be who you are, but you just need to learn how to bring more of that and be more of that in order to be successful. So that's the message for today. Listen, I hope you got some value out of that. I just thought it was such a powerful story, and I hope that some of you pulled some stuff away from that. So my recommendation is give some thought to what we talked about. Stop trying to go 100 miles an hour all the time. Slow down. Be willing to ask yourself the tough questions. Go through some of this work, and I'm telling you, this is the stuff that's going to make a difference for you. So anyway, thanks for being here, everybody. I love you, appreciate you. I'm Bob Heilig, your virtual upline, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.